on behalf of Jordan and Talon White-Eye. All right, gentlemen, here we go. Good luck and have a great time.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Gatter here. Tonight we are going to talk about some good stories. We're going to celebrate great things happening in Indian country. But before we get there, I want to give everybody a chance to get here and find that we are going live. So please take a moment, tag a friend, share it out, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. This video is from the 2022 Gathering Nations Powwow, the men's traditional special. Australia watching. Hello, welcome. Oklahoma's here. Missouri, Kentucky. Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to tell you about some of the stories tonight. There's lots to celebrate right now in Indian country, so let's talk about it. Arkansas, Washington State, Texas. Yakima Nation's here. Hello, hello. Just a minute more and we'll get started with everything. Sorry to hear about that, Kimberly. I hope everybody will lift you up in their prayers tonight. And your sister. Nicole from South Carolina. Hello. We're actually streaming from Lexington, South Carolina. British Columbia's here.
How about a round of applause for song number one? Thank you, brothers. Thank you. Meskwaki Nation.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Gatter here from PowWows.com. Welcome. This is our weekly show from PowWows.com. This is in PowWows.com. If you're new here or if you're returning, thank you for being here. PowWows.com is your place to come learn, explore, and connect with Native culture. And we do that in a number of ways through our videos, our live streaming, which we'll talk more about, our articles on our site, and of course the powwow calendar. We want you to get out there and experience Native culture in person So I hope you will go visit our powwow calendar, and there you go. You can head over to this link to find powwows near you. Keep posting. I love seeing where everybody is from. Lots of good stuff all over the country and worldwide. Very cool. B. Riley, welcome back. Good to see you. Let's see. Sock Harjo, hello, hello. Seeing some familiar faces. That's awesome. So tonight, I want to celebrate some stories that's going on in Indian country that are really cool. You know, sometimes there's not a whole lot to celebrate, but right now, we just published a list of 10 awesome things happening in Indian country. So I want to celebrate them. And we have even a couple of other stories that weren't even on that list that just happened. So let's get into it. And then I also have some announcements and other things to talk about. If you were following and if you entered our contest for the 8th generation blanket, I'll be drawing that live tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Oh, another Australian's here. Awesome. Very cool. Sue, hey, from Texas. Good to see you again. All right. So first story, if you hadn't seen it, let's start with this one. Last night, Mary Patola became the first Alaskan Native elected to Congress. She defeated Sarah Palin in the special election up there in Alaska and did it on her birthday. How about that? So super cool to see. So that's even more representation in Congress for Native people. So super exciting. And to have a woman elected, always love to see more women represented in Congress. I think we need more of that, given some of the latest things going on. But super exciting to see that. That's a really cool story. And we've talked, a couple weeks ago, we interviewed Rebecca Nagel from This Land podcast and talked about how the Supreme Court decisions are really affecting Indian country. If you haven't seen that, it's super important to go back and watch that show. But elections are very important and are going to shape a lot of things in the next few years with Indian policy and Indian law. So please get out there and vote. This was a special election. I'm glad to see that one turned out fantastic. Bernard, hello. Mary, happy birthday. Awesome. Very good to see you spending your birthday with us. That's cool. All right, second story. Again, not on the list, but this week is the Professional Disc Golf Association. Yes, there is a Professional Disc Golf Association if you weren't aware. And this is the week of their World Championships. And Leah Sinigini, who we here at PowWows.com, we are one of her sponsors. Leah has been competing this week out there in Emporia, Kansas, in the 2022 World Championships. So it's been super fun to follow along. If you're not into disc golf, you need to try it out. It's a great sport, super easy to get into. It's not like golf. There's no green fees at most of these places. Almost every course in the country is free. There's a few that are paid, but most everyone is just free and just go out there and play. And the discs are inexpensive. And sometimes you can find them even used discs at local play-it-agains and things like that. But super exciting to watch Leah Sinigini play. She's Navajo, and that was awesome to see. Also, Jennifer Allen, Cherokee, has been competing out there too. She was actually on lead card. She was in top 4 yesterday. She didn't finish yesterday quite as well as she did the day before, but she's still in contention, and it's super exciting to see these two ladies representing Indian country out there on the disc golf tour. So make sure you follow along with Leah. She does a great job on social media, as well as Jennifer Allen. Two really fun athletes to follow. All right, so there's our first two stories. All right, let's mix in this. If you are looking for some merch, check out PowWows.com/shop. It's a great place you can go and get some of our merch. There's the address. And for Labor Day weekend, we have our Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women shirts. They are on sale, 25% off, automatically taken at checkout, 25% off. And we do give a percentage of our portions over to a what is the name of the group? I should know that offhand, but it goes to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. We send them donations throughout the year based on what are on the sales of these shirts. So go check them out. They're 25% off. It's one of our popular designs, so go check that out. As well as our 2022 Powwow season shirts are marked down $3 off. So go check those out, shop.powwows.com. All right, let me see a couple of comments. B. Riley says, good luck, Leah. Yeah, it's really cool to see. I'm really having a good time watching her. I got to, last year, there's a disc golf major event that happens close to me. It is called the United States Disc Golf Championships, and then the women for the men, and the women's is called the Throw Pink Championships. It's up in Rock Hill, which is only a couple of hours away. So I was able to go up there. It's a 4-day event, and I was able to watch and follow Leah around for a little bit and get to meet her in person, which was super cool. She was awesome to meet. She took my daughter and introduced her to all the pro women, and that was really, really cool to see. Leah, took Brooke around. We've got a disc up here on the wall with tons of signatures that Leah went around and got for Brooke. Brooke got to meet all these really cool pros. So that was awesome. How can you donate to them? Moon River, you're looking to donate to Leah and Jennifer Allen. So go follow Leah or Jennifer on Instagram, and they have there's a few ways you can help them out. I think they both probably have some ways you can send money directly, but they also have lots of sponsors like us, and they'll have discount codes for different merchandise that all those sponsors. And if you use their discount codes, that helps them out on tour as well. And they both also have discs with their name on it, and of course, sales of those discs go and help them on tour as well. So go check that out. Follow them on Instagram. I'm sure if you shoot them a DM, they can also tell you other ways you can get involved and help them out. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that. Rebecca says, first time I'm watching live. Hey, welcome. So we do this show every Thursday night at 9, and sometimes there's a guest. Sometimes you're just stuck with me. And we also do live powwows periodically throughout the year. And that was one of the other things I want to celebrate tonight, because we're talking about good things in Indian country. And that's a big one. Just updated the schedule for our live streams, and I'm excited to show you what all we've got going on. Let's scroll down. So coming up in just 9 days, we will be live at the United Tribes Technical College Powwow. We'll be streaming that one. The weekend after, we'll be at the San Manuel Powwow out there in California. And then the weekend after that, I will actually be out in Morongo. I'll be helping with that stream, the Morongo Powwow in Cabazon, California. Christy says she's also new. Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Marshall, thanks for welcoming in people. Appreciate that. Then in October, we'll be up in Choctaw, in Durant, Oklahoma, the Hunting Moon Powwow in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then Sisseton and Orden Dam Powwow in November. So lots of stuff coming. Lots of chances to watch powwows live. So if you're not able to make it to a powwow here in the next few weeks, just stay tuned to PowWows.com on Facebook and YouTube. We've got next best thing. You sit in your living room, watch it on your phone, your laptop. Lots of people watch it on their TV too. There's ways to do that. Scott says, are you going to be in Bismarck next weekend? No, we will not be there. I won't be there. We may have some folks there doing some videos, but we won't be streaming the entire event live, unfortunately. But it's on the list. I'm hoping to get out to some more powwows in 2023. Thank you so much, Francis. I really appreciate that. That's great. Thanks, Marshall. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Diane, welcome to the show. All right, let's talk about some of these other stories that I wanted to talk about tonight. Next one. Who has been watching Prey? Anybody watch the show yet on Hulu? If you're not aware, it is a prequel to the Predator series. The old Predator from Arnold Schwarzenegger the early 90s, late 80s. It is the next series in that Predator series, but it takes place before all of those. It actually takes place with a tribe. I don't know if they put a date in it, but there's definitely there's French folks in there. It looks like French hunters that are in there. So I'm guessing we're looking at probably like 1700s. And they released the movie in Choctaw. So that was really cool too. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I finished it today, finally. Really awesome movie. They did a really good job. The main character is a young native woman who is trying to prove herself as a hunter in the tribe, and the Predator comes up. So go check that out. That's a really good one. Ellen says she's new to the channel also. Hey, thanks so much, Ellen. Thanks for being here. Again, this is our weekly show, so check us out every Thursday night. Last week was fun, and we'll do that again later this month. We have a game night once a month. B. Riley says it's on her watch list. All right, in other shows, who's watching Reservation Dogs? Is everybody caught up on Reservation Dogs? Oh, Boba says it's during the French-American Indian War. So what is that? Is that like early 1800s? I don't know. that part of American history I'm not up on. Somebody give me a date of when Prey takes place. But yeah, and so who's watching Reservation Dogs? I think I'm one episode behind right now. I've watched the Las Vegas episode. Yeah, I can't give you any spoilers what happens there, but what happens in Vegas needs to stay in Vegas. But that's a fantastic show. Great writing, great acting. Check that out if you haven't been watching that. What's a good one? Just got caught up. Yeah, we're one episode behind. Maybe can catch up on it on this weekend. But while we're celebrating, I'll go ahead and tell you what I'm celebrating today. As like an hour ago, as you know, my daughter is off at the College of Charleston. Been talking about that. And she called us just a little while ago and said she's coming home tomorrow. She wasn't planning on it, but she's coming home from the weekend. Woo! So that's what we are celebrating today. We were planning on going to the beach ourselves this weekend, but canceled all that. We're going to stay home, visit with the daughter. Super excited to have her home. It's been about 3 weeks since she's been home. It's so quiet in the house. Anybody else have kids going off to college? Whew, it's tough. All right, let's get to these other stories. You can go check this out on PowWows.com. We've got all the information there on the articles on the site, so you can read more about this. But let's talk about some of these stories that happened. Here's a great one. Not only do we have Native Congresswoman get elected this week, but Biden has appointed. Let me see if I can get her name right. Marilyn Marabla. Probably missed that. She's Mohegan, and she's been appointed to be the treasurer. So that's a super cool part, or super important part of the cabinet. So that's going to be really important for us to see how that's going to shake out. I'm really excited that Biden is appointing more natives in his cabinet. Thank you, Marshall. I appreciate that. Gregory says Prey was a great movie. Yeah, it's really, I think they did a really good job with that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. All right, next story. Have you seen this? There's infrastructure on some parts of Indian country is a struggle, not just roads and access and water, but access to internet. And, with the way schools and colleges are, you got to have internet now because there's so much that's virtual learning. People are working remotely now. And so we really need to make sure we get better internet out to more people. So there's a program coming out. It's called the Tribal Broadband Connectivity Program, and it's going to spend almost $1 billion getting internet to more tribal places and more natives. So that is really, really cool to see. If you are in one of these areas that may be affected by this, go check out the story and find out when it's coming to your area and how you can take advantage of that. So that's really cool. Moon River says, sons in the Marine Corps. Oh, yeah. That's one of those things, you're proud of what they're doing. And I'm super excited to see all the success my daughter's having at school, but the house is so quiet without them. Oh, B. Riley, I can't tell her that you took the water bottle. I cleaned up the office and reorganized, so I'm hoping she's not going to notice it because all the excess prizes I've put away and they're in the closet. So maybe she won't see that. All right, next up. We've talked about this. Voting is so important right now. And there's a couple of programs, including the Skate to the Polls, that's really helping get more Native voters out there and Native people out to vote. Again, if you're not registered, if you're not already a registered voter, make sure you do that. There is some important elections coming up. Get that taken care of and make sure our voice is heard in the next election. How about this story? Did you know that the monarch butterfly was having issues? I did not know that. All right, hold on. I do see a couple of comments. Yes, yeah, it's so needed in lots of places. Very, very needed in lots of places. So I'm glad to see that coming. But yeah, there are some tribal groups that are actually helping with the migratory patterns of monarch butterflies and helping to make sure that they restore these forests, get them back their traditional foods, and let them make a comeback. I had no idea that was even an issue, but so glad to see that there's some Native people jumping on that. All right, how about this story? I cannot wait. I want to be there when this thing opens. But the Navajo Nation is finally breaking ground on a Code Talker museum. Oh, it's so awesome to what these folks did in World War II. And not just the Navajo code talkers, but other tribes. There were some Choctaw code talkers and everything. But the Navajo Nation is now going to recognize them with their own museum. Super cool, super exciting to see that. That'll be something that for generations we'll be able to celebrate what those guys did to really help that war. That's really, really awesome. All right. Also, another exciting thing we need to be celebrating is Nicole Mann will become the first Native American woman in space this September. How about that? That's really cool to see. Again, representation is so important. And not only are we getting more representation in Congress, we're getting representation now with people in space. We're getting representation in movies and TV shows. And I keep saying that when I interview people and they tell me that, when they were growing up, they didn't have necessarily role models to look up to, but they struggled to find somebody that they could emulate and somebody that they could, look to. And now we've got Native people in all these different areas. So what's our, in 10 years, what impact will this have on our youth? I cannot wait to see what kind of impact it's going to have. It's awesome, but it's so great to see another area of representation coming out. It's really, really cool. B. Riley says it's amazing. All right, to have a little bit of that in your family. That's really cool. Rose, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. So we're working on doing keeping this kind of post updated about once a month to really celebrate these stories and make sure that people are aware of some of the exciting things that are happening in Indian country. Some of the stuff doesn't get talked about, so I want to make sure that we keep that up. I have a business coach of mine, and one of the things he always tells me is you celebrate even the little wins. It's not just the big things you celebrate, but you celebrate all the little wins and try to celebrate those every day, because little wins pile up to big victories. So, oh, that's great. Yeah, great. I love that comment. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. How about this? Again, representation. Now, FEMA is recognizing the fact that there has been issues with the way they work with tribes during emergencies. Federal government and tribes have struggled with their relationships over the years. We all know that. There was a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit a few years ago about how the federal government didn't handle some of the money in trust correctly. And so some of these relationships have been strained. So to see a federal agency like FEMA recognize that there's a problem and now they're going to work to fix it, really important story. And that needs to be done and replicated in more places than just the federal government, but in all types of dealings with tribes. So that's really good to see. It's a start, and I think we really need to continue to work on that. So not only do we have some really cool shows with Reservation Dogs and Rutherford Falls and Prey and Dark Winds, which I haven't even started watching yet, but looks really, really great. We've got some authors that have come out with some books recently and being recognized for some awards and really selling some great stuff. So go check them out too. There's 4 authors that we highlighted on the website. That's really cool to see. There's several tribes that are now working on some cool projects to really go back to the roots of agricultural. Braiding the Sacred is one of them. It's a growing network of indigenous corn growers, and they're helping to make sure that we keep those agricultural roots alive. So that's really, really awesome. And last story, in 1973, if you weren't aware, Sakine Littlefeather she turned down the Academy Award that was meant for Marlon Brando on his behalf, and the Academy, the Oscars, they treated her pretty badly at the time, and they have now issued an apology to her. And again, it's another group that is recognizing that what they did in the past was not correct, and they're looking to fix that and to repair relationships. It's not going to fix everything. It's not going to make it all right. But I am glad to see more organizations recognizing the wrongs and starting conversations, because that's the way we move forward. Until we recognize that, hey, there's an issue and here's what we did. Now let's try to find a way forward. We can't move forward until there's recognition of that there was actually some issues. That's really cool. So, all right, I'm catching up with all your comments. Rosebud Nation is growing. I did not get to go to their powwow. Again, that I have not been up to North Dakota yet. That's North or South Dakota. I got to get up to some powwows up there. You know, who knows what the Biden administration is going to do, but with some of the things, these announcements, but you know, appointing a native person as Secretary of Treasurer is a start. We'll see what happens. Yeah, these are stories that are long overdue, and it's good to see them moving forward. Again, like Stalking Panther, you said, these are starting points, and we got to see what progress is actually going to be made. And if you go back to the episode again, I would reference the conversation we had with Rebecca Nagel. These court cases are going to have huge impacts and could set back some of these conversations decades back. Gregory says his Reservation Dogs is filmed right there in Oklahoma. Yeah, it's they're filming in, you know, right there in locations, and they're bringing in so many great, talented native actors. Our friends Mike Bone, Little Mike and Funny Bone are on the show. Loved those guys on the show. And they did a little reference to their hit song Rain Dance the other night. That was really cool to see. Those guys kill it. We've had them on the show before, and had them perform on PowWows.com. You go back and check out those videos. Those guys are awesome. If you ever get to see them in person, man, they bring so much energy to the stage. Got to see them perform a couple times out there in Gathering. Love those groups, and that's the kind of thing that Reservation Dogs is just bringing in so many amazing, talented people on that. Focus on traditional food. Yeah, that's really cool. So now I don't remember her name, but interviewed a native chef recently. Might have been Chef Piet, who won Fox's cooking reality show. It might have been her that talked about it, but there's a movement among several tribes to become food independent. And there was a quote, wasn't from her, but there was a quote recently that came out and said, tribes aren't truly sovereign until they can actually feed their people and be sustainable with their food production. So that's a big part of sovereignty, and tribes are working toward that. These agricultural products are just part of that. Chef Piet and others have talked about on this show, you know, how they are working to, you know, bring certain types of planting back, to bring in cattle and different herds to make sure that they have meat production on the reservation. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, and it's super important. Yes, Francis, I agree. There's lots of healing, and we got to acknowledge the wrongs, and then hopefully we can move forward. You know, Reservation Dogs is one of those things that I've been telling lots of people, you know, outside of the powwow or native world, that they really need to give it a shot and really check it out, because it's humorous, even if you don't get all the jokes. And there's a lot of good Indian humor in the show, but it's a really good depiction of some different issues that do happen. So yeah, I'm really recommending that to everybody. It's great. They are bringing it. Reservation Season 3 has been approved. Sweet, that is awesome. That would be really, really great. All right, I do have a couple other announcements. I do want to say a special thank you. Meant to do this earlier, but you know, we got busy with other things, and that's cool. But our folks over at Powwow Nation, those are our supporters, the Booster Club of PowWows.com. We got some new supporters that joined us in the last couple weeks: Sandra K, Amy S, Diane H, Jenny F, Teresa C. These are folks that have just started helping PowWows.com and supporting us through our Patreon over at PowWowNation.com. So thank you to them. And some of these other folks have been with us for a couple of years on Patreon, and so wanted to thank them too. Vincent, Charlotte, Lynn, Elizabeth, and Renette. Thank you for all that support. I'd love for you to join us and help really support PowWows.com. You can go check that out over at PowWowNation.com. We've got a really cool community going on over there. We do a monthly Zoom call where any of our Patreons can jump online. We all talk. Some people bring like different topics they want to discuss, or our last one, we just hung out and chatted, and it was really, really cool. So it's a great way to kind of get to know some other people in the community, not just with this, where I'm just talking to you for 30 minutes. And I appreciate you being here, but with the Zoom calls, we actually get to talk, not just through chat, but face to face. So that's really cool. Love for you to join that over at PowWows.com. Also, as we get closer to holiday shopping time, I want to remind everybody, hey, you can really help another way that doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take anything. It's really easy. A way to support PowWows.com is if you're shopping on Amazon, please go to PowWows.com/Amazon first. That just tells Amazon that you're part of our community, and Amazon will pay us a commission for anything you buy in the next day or so. No extra charge to you. Amazon just gives us a commission for sending that business to them. So please consider going to PowWows.com/Amazon before you start your shopping. You can bookmark that and make sure you go there every time. That really does help support the show and all the stuff we're doing at PowWows.com. Yes, Gregory. Yes. Keep supporting them, and make sure you let them know, and you can do that by following them on social media, sharing some of the things that are going on your page, and really helping keep the buzz alive on some of that stuff. That really does help. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate that. I think that was all the announcements. The only other thing is, please make sure you go to our powwow calendar often. We are adding powwows every day. Lots and lots of events happening. Powwow season is the powwow summer starting to wind down, but there are lots of events coming up this fall. Powwow season, I keep saying this, powwows are back in a really big way, and there's some big events coming up this fall. So you can find one near you. So go check out our powwow calendar and check it often, because there is more updated information all the time. And find one near you. And for those of you that are new to the show, if you're curious about powwows or never been to one before, please go check out our resource, Powwow 101. It's an email, series of emails that we'll send you, no charge. We'll just sign up there and we'll send you a series of emails that'll tell you all about powwows, the dancing, the etiquette, what grand entry is, what you can expect, what you need to wear and bring, and how to act and all that kind of stuff. So go check that out, PowWows.com/Powwow101. All right. Struggling with the buttons tonight. Ryan also reminds us, Ryan manages our YouTube channel. Please go check out our YouTube channel. We are trying to get to that 100K mark. Don't you think a nice big YouTube frame would look so good right there? So we're trying to get that at 100K. YouTube sends us a nice plaque. We're about to hit 70,000, so we just need another 30,000. So that's a big number, but it's just another 30,000. We can do that. There's more than that here on Facebook, so we just need all of you. Go check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. Thank you so much for the support on the powwow calendar. Thank you. And we've got new stuff coming to PowWows.com soon. Sneak peek. Can I do this? Oops. Yeah, I'll do it. Sneak peek. Got a whole new website design coming soon. That's going to really streamline and help organize things, not only on the main website, but on PowWows.com too. So look for that coming hopefully later this fall. Send some prayers up. Our developer that helps us design the website was in a car accident. She's had to have 3 surgeries so far. So I'm hoping she's back to work now, and but slowly. So we're going to get back to that new website design really soon. Grass dance. We got some grass dancers here. All right. Rose. All right, everybody. So that's what I wanted to do. Again, let's celebrate all these little wins, and we're going to add them up over time to big victories. So I love doing that. We're going to do this periodically, as well as mixing in some guests and other things. All the people that were here for the first time, thanks for being here. I hope you'll come back next week. We're live every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And you can also check us out Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we also have a podcast over at PowWows.com. If you want to listen to us in the car or something like that, that's a great way to do it too. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being part of the powwow community here at PowWows.com. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a great weekend. I cannot wait to squeeze my daughter tomorrow when she gets here. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend, as well as watching the World Championships of Disc Golf. Don't forget to watch that. You can check that out. 2, and let's see how Jennifer Allen and Leah end up this weekend. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Spend some time with your family, and I will see you soon. Thanks, everybody.